Hello everybody. Today I figured I would just do a collective message. I've never done one of these before, but I felt called to do it, and these were the cards that I pulled out right away when I asked Spirit what did the collective need to know. And so right away what I'm getting is that there's some kind of progression here with the Three of Wands, the Nine of Wands, and the King of Wands. It feels like you're progressing towards some kind of goal. With the Nine of Wands here, like this fairy tale, this is a lot about like believing in yourself, believing in just the last like going through the last hurdle, right? And having faith in yourself that you can do that. And so that's kind of the feeling that I'm getting from Spirit right now, is just that there's this so close, like with the ladder, going up the ladder, and I forget what the fairy tale, what her name is, but she just she has to overcome like all of Baba Yaga's trials, and she has to do that by having faith in the doll that her mother left her. So it's kind of like, it's almost like believing in Spirit too is kind of an underlying message here. You have to believe in the invisible. And we'll start with some oracle to kind of clarify, but that's the immediate message that I was getting from Spirit. This very much like believe in yourself, but also believe in Spirit. Believe that this is happening. Believe that what you're doing is working, kind of thing. Yeah, believe in what you're doing is working. Star Keeper, Cosmic Ancestor, seed the light by staying grounded. Yeah, there is this underlying energy of being grounded. Even though there's a lot of wand energy, it does feel like you do have maybe the message of, what do I want to say? It's sort of like when we have to balance the 3D and the 5D. Like if you feel like you're ascending more towards the 5D, there is still that message of like being grounded in the 3D as well. On the bottom of the deck, we have Messenger, serious energy, bring harmony and balance. And yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. It's that balance of being of this earth, or not, sorry, I reversed that. Not being of this earth, but still being a part of it. Like you kind of have to have one foot in the other, like one foot in the spirit, one foot in the material world, that kind of thing, in order to make your goals a reality. Is there anything else from this deck? Just one, but it fell on the floor. Oh, that's funny. That was on the bottom of the deck, and that's what fell out when I shuffled. So yeah, there's this this messenger kind of serious energy. Definitely if you feel like you are a starseed, I do feel like this message might be specifically for you. I do feel like starseeds are being called more and more now to kind of show up in the collective. That may not resonate with everybody, but that's just what I feel like I'm noticing myself. I feel like starseeds are being more and more like called to own their heritage, I guess, and start to actually work like with remembering who they are so that they can better integrate their past knowledge into the reality of today. What does Spirit have for the collective? Very talkative today. Yeah, metamorphosis. There's this really beautiful transformation that's happening, I feel. And I really love that there's this, what do I want to say? It is a transformation, but it's also like a realistic transformation. It's not just a spiritual transformation. It feels like a physical transformation as well that's going on energetically. What else does Spirit have to say? Is there anything more from this deck? One more. Magic Stream. Yeah, prayers have been heard. You know what? I think the main thing about this card is to let... It's kind of like when you've kind of made your vision board, or you've set your manifestation, and now it's kind of time to let Spirit take over. You know what I mean? Like, if you put too much energy in the physical, that kind of interrupts the flow sometimes of the universe, because they've started to work on this energetically for you, and the more you kind of put out, and the more you the more you set in the 3D, because you might be thinking like, oh, it's not moving fast enough, that kind of interrupts what Spirit is already working towards for you energetically. And I do feel like we've all been working towards making positive changes, is I think the main message here. Like, there has been work in the 3D, and that's really good, but now it's almost like there's time to work on it. Like, the last little bits need to be done more energetically than they do physically. There is still the progression here of like, you're so close. Yeah, you're so close. You know the way. It's very interesting. I've never done a collective reading like this before, so let me know how it goes in the comments. I am used to tapping more into a specific energy rather than a collective energy. I've never done something quite this big. So I'm actually feeling a little fuzzy. Like, my head is feeling a little fuzzy. What does the collective need to know, Spirit, please? This deck doesn't like to talk to me sometimes. It's very fussy. Sometimes it's fast, but more often than not. Okay. Yeah, bottom of the deck, believe in the impossible, though. I do feel like that is kind of, there's a bit of a miracle frequency. I'm getting miracle frequency, like miracles can happen. Now I kind of want to pick a rune, a witch's rune, just to see. The moon. Okay. The moon. Hidden secrets, but also the ethereal. I put them in a bag so that I can't see what rock I'm picking. I'm feeling called to pick another one. Ooh, the harvest rune. Yeah, I've been feeling this a lot lately. Like, I've been picking this rune a lot, even just for myself. And I feel like there is kind of like a harvest coming. I'm not quite sure if it's like a material harvest or a spiritual harvest, but it does feel like something good is coming, even though it feels like there's so much chaos and uncertainty right now. I'm feeling called to pick another oracle deck. I have to go get it though. I wanted this one specifically. So let's see here. So far though, the message is really like, it's very powerful, even though the message doesn't feel totally clear, but it does feel powerful. Like I said, my head is very foggy. It feels like energetically, it's almost like something's ready to burst. Yeah, Datura. Spirit is very present right now for the collective. Like very much, I think Spirit wants to connect a lot more with people who are already feeling inclined. I love how the color palette kind of changed. There's a lot of blue, but now it turned very soft almost. Spirit wants to talk more to people, wants to get more involved, wants to get people more involved. There's a lot of timeline shifts. There's a lot of like leaps and bounds. Cherry, yeah, again, there's that progress. There's a progression of something. Whether it's your goals, your spiritual awakening, or just the way that you're moving within the 3D, I feel like the collective, there's progress happening though. And it is at once very powerful and very soft at the same time. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Seed. There's a new beginning here somewhere. It's kind of like once you reach the top of this ladder, there's like a bit of a, like we have here with the Phoenix, there's a bit of a transformation here. Harmony and balance. Yeah. There's something. What do the Fae want to say? Thank you. Ooh. I don't know how to cover that up. Iris of the rainbow. Yes, yes, love. There's this hope, there's this renewal, there's this, it's very, I'm trying to find some tape so I can put this down. Just, not that I'm monetized or anything, but still. Sorry, Iris, I don't mean to cover up your beautiful body, but the internet has youngins. But yeah, and again, there's this beautiful like purple indigo kind of energy that's hanging over people's heads. I feel like it's not so much like, it doesn't feel so much like an awakening, it just feels like a transformation or a rebirth. I don't know where to put this card, but I kind of want it to be the center now. But yeah, there's a lot of, there's this messenger card I'm being called to mention again. Like if you feel like you have a calling, some sort of spiritual calling, some sort of spiritual aptitude, there's a call to become like a messenger for Spirit. Like I think Spirit really wants to get people more involved with speaking out about stuff like this. I think that's kind of the collective message as well. It kind of transformed. It feels like I was more, when I started this reading, it was more about like goals and reaching a goal, and now I'm kind of, this feels more like a calling, like Spirit is saying like a call to arms. I don't know how that transformed here, but that's kind of what is coming into my head now. Call to arms, not, I mean, that sounds a little too military, but it's sort of like a spiritual call to arms. There's a lot of, like I'm being drawn to this fire. It's almost like a fire being lit, a torch being lit. Yeah, this card is really, well, speaking to me, like again, just a light for people. Not just for you to shine your light onto others, but a light for you to hold. It's sort of like I'm imagining, like, you know, in those concerts where like people they light their lighters and they all like start to wave it around and it just looks like a bunch of stars after everyone sort of lit their lighter, and it looks really beautiful, and it sort of is a symbol of like unity and light and just yeah, connectedness. And so that's kind of what I'm seeing so far. I feel like that got a little too, that is not really what I set out at all to say. I thought this was going to be a little bit more in the 3D, but it ended up transforming into something more of like a spirit saying like, yeah, get people more involved, get people more speaking out about stuff like this. Like, if you are spiritually inclined, don't be afraid to share it, kind of thing. I think it's not like there's a timeline per se on any of this stuff, but I do feel like spirit is becoming more like, yeah, like the time is now. Like, if you feel like you are being called to be awakened, if you are spiritually transforming, if you are ascending, like, now is the time to be outspoken about it, I guess. Like, don't hide it. Like, if you feel inclined to do so, work more with spirit, work more with connecting to your higher self. Because yeah, I'm thinking of the magic stream now and how it just sort of emphasized this, like, it is a go with the flow energy, but it is also like just being in flow with spirit, being in flow with the universe. So there is a level of being detached from the 3D, while also remembering that you are still a part of the 3D. And in doing that, you are transforming yourself as well. It's a very difficult thing to do. It's simple of spirit to ask, but it is a very difficult thing to do, to become detached, but at the same time still present in the way you conduct yourself in the 3D. I myself am still in that journey of, like, I've done a lot of work detaching myself from certain things in the 3D, but I do still get hit sometimes with necessities and stuff like that. And then I question, like, why would spirit tell me to do this when I can't really forget that I need these things? But it's a very delicate balance that you have to achieve in order to do what spirit kind of wants you to do when you do that stuff. It is a bit like an ascension, like being truly at peace with yourself. But that's not the main message of this collective reading. Wow, I'm getting very, like, heightened, like my voice just feels very desperate. So again, I do think the main kind of message for this collective reading is just to very much, like, again, there's this balance of spiritual and physical, but also, like, how to integrate your spirituality into the physical is also very important. I think that's kind of the core message here, because I think spirit does want more people to integrate their beliefs and their higher selves into the 3D so that we can further ascend reality into what we know it could be. Especially if you're a starseed. If you're a starseed, you know what I'm talking about. Like the whole, the ancient civilizations like Lemuria, Atlantis, Lyra, Sirius, stuff like that. Like there's very much like a, like, I feel like that's kind of our mission sometimes as a starseed, is to integrate what we knew from past lives into civilization now, because that's essentially how we're going to make New Earth, is from that. I think that's how I understand it anyway. I could be wrong, because I know there's a lot more people knowledgeable about Starseeds and their mission than than I am, but that's how I understand it anyway, is to, it's almost like accessing your Akashic records. And then once you unlock that, you can further teach people in the 3D and help them awaken. Yeah, that's kind of, wow, it just stopped now. It's like, yeah, it ended with that word awaken. Very weird. I did not expect to get like, I thought this was going to be more about like material goals. I'm so sorry. I feel like I kind of touched on that a little bit. Like there is a positive affirmation that like material goals are coming true, but it's almost like in order to achieve that, you do need to attain some form of spiritual peace or spiritual detachment, like a little bit like Buddha, right? Like not detaching yourself so far that you live in absolute poverty, but detaching yourself enough that like you no longer, your life is no longer ruled by these material things, so to speak. And then once you achieve that level of like just integrating spirituality into your daily life, daily being, daily practice, it's sort of like then the material success follows. Wow, I hope that made sense. I feel like it didn't make sense at all, but that's what I'm seeing, and that's kind of what came through. Woo. I don't know why I feel like I need to apologize too, but I feel like I do, because I feel like maybe the collective wanted a more physical message, but it ended up being very spiritual actually. So, but that's what I have for you, and that's what came through, and that's what I channeled. So I'm sorry if that's not what you wanted, but that is what Spirit has to say for you. If you found this video, if it called to you, then that message was definitely for you. Yeah, and I hope it resonated with you at least in some capacity. And I think that's everything I have. Okay. I'm so shocked. And now I don't know how to end the video. Okay. All right. Enough of this awkwardness. I will end the video here, and I wish you all the best. I wish you peace and love and light. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to my rambling. And I hope to see you again in more pick a card readings. I don't know if I'll do any more collective readings. But thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.